In this movie, I'll show you how to use the alignment options as precise positioning tools. So just to set things up here, I'm going to press Shift-Tab in order to hide the right side panels. And then I'll go up to the View menu and choose Fit All in Window, where you can press Control-Alt-0 or Command-Option-0 on the Mac in order to reveal these letters over here in the left-hand artboard. And so what we're going to do is move every single one of the letters into the proper position, and we're going to do so without dragging a single one of them. We're going to be relying exclusively on the alignment and distribution options. So notice here that this text is set in a font called Zebrawood that I have converted to path outlines. And so what we have is this outline, which is the regular style, as well as this color, which is the fill style. And so what I've done is combine the border and the fill into groups for every single one of the letters except this E. And so I'll just go ahead and press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac a couple of times to put those guys back where they were. And I'll marquee these two paths right here, one of which is a compound path. And then I'll just go up to the Object menu and choose the Group command, or of course you can press Control-G or Command-G on the Mac. And that's going to be essential that these guys are grouped together if we want to move the border and the fill as one unit. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is click on this 9 to select it, and then I'll shift-click on this upper left square. But I forgot that these guys are grouped together, so I'm going to have to start things off by marqueing all the squares like so, and then going up to the Object menu and choosing the Ungroup command in order to break up all of the groups. All right, now I'll try that again. I'll go ahead and click on the 9 and shift-click on the square. And then you want to click on the square again. Don't double-click on it because then you'll enter the isolation mode, which is not what you want. Just give it a moment and click on it a second time in order to make it the key object. And then go up here to the Control panel and click Horizontal Align Center, followed by Vertical Align Center in order to move that 9 into position. Now you want to move the D into the bottom right square. So go ahead and click on that square, shift-click on the D to select it, and then click on that square again to make it the key object. And now, once again, click Horizontal Align Center, followed by Vertical Align Center in order to put that letter into place. All right, now we want to move the I into this position right there, and we want to move the L into this green square. And we're going to do that by aligning and then distributing these two letters. And so I'll go ahead and click on the L and shift-click on that orange I. And then you also want to shift-click on the 9 to select it. All right, now obviously we don't want the 9 to move, so I need to establish it as a key object by clicking on it again so it gets that heavy outline. And then what's tempting to do is to get these guys over into the proper location, you might click on Horizontal Align Center in order to produce this effect here. And then shift-click on a D so that it's selected. Go ahead and click on the 9 so it's no longer the key object. And then you want to distribute these guys. But notice if I now click on Horizontal Distribute Center, I'm going to make a mess of things, and that's because the L has become the farthest left-hand object. Another problem that we have is I've got Align to Artboard turned on. So I've got to make a couple of modifications here. First, I'll switch this to Align to Selection so that we don't move the letters to the far left and right sides of the artboard. And then I'll press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac a couple of times in order to put the I and the L back where they were. And now I'll click once again on the 9 to make it the key object. And instead of clicking Horizontal Align Center, I want to click Horizontal Align Left so that the 9 is as far to the left as the I and the L. Now click on the 9 so that it's no longer a key object. Then shift-click on the D so that it's selected. And now what we're going to do is distribute the letters between the two extremes of the 9 and the D by first clicking Horizontal Distribute Center. And by the way, you definitely want to click Center as opposed to, for example, Horizontal Distribute Right, which is going to move that I too far over. So I'll just go ahead and undo that move. And then you want to click Vertical Distribute Center in order to distribute the I and the L into the proper locations. All right, now here's where things get really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and click off the letters to deselect them. Then I'll click on the 9 and shift drag across the 2, the 0, and the 1. You can't use Select Similar Objects, by the way, because we have mixed fills. And so Illustrator isn't going to really be able to suss out that these guys share the same attributes. All right, now click again on the 9 to make it the key object. And then go up here to this option, Vertical Align Center, and click on it to move those numbers upward. Now click on the I and then shift-click on all the orange letters, which include the V, the F, and the E. Go ahead and click on the I again to make it the key object, and click on Vertical Align Center again in order to move those guys to the proper locations. Next, I'm going to work on the red letters just because they're easy to get to. So I'll click and shift-click on the O, A, and R, then shift-click on the D, and click on it again to make it the key object, and then go ahead and click Vertical Align Center. And then finally, do the same with the L, the M, the I, and the E, all the blue letters. Click on the L again to make it the key object, and then click on Vertical Align Center in order to move those guys into the proper positions. All right, now you want to align the letters into the proper columns, which include the 9, the F, I'm going to go ahead and shift-click on that, the M, and then finally the R. And so go ahead and make sure those letters are selected. Click once again on the 9 to make it the key object, and then click Horizontal Align Center in order to move all those letters into the first row. Now you want to click on the I to make it active, then shift-click on the 0, the purple 0 there, shift-click on the blue I, and shift-click on the red O. Then click again on the orange I to make it the key object, and click Horizontal Align Center to move those guys into position. Now click on the L to select it. You want to shift-click on the V. We also want to shift-click on the number 1, the purple number 1 right there, and then shift-click on the red A. Go ahead and click again on the L to make it the key object, and click on Horizontal Align Center. And then finally, go ahead and click on the D. Just go ahead and shift marquee the remaining letters over here on the right-hand artboard, and click on a D again to make it the key object, and then click Horizontal Align Center in order to move the selection into the final column. All right, now we no longer need this extra artboard, so I'll just go ahead and select the artboard tool, which again you can get by pressing Shift-O. Click on that second artboard to select it, press the backspace key or the delete key on the Mac to get rid of it, and then press the escape key in order to exit the artboard mode. All right, now I'll press Shift-Tab to bring back my right side panels, and I'll press Control-0 or Command-0 on the Mac to center my remaining artboard. And that's how you position all the numbers and letters so that they make sense into exactly aligned rows and columns using the Align and Distribute options here inside Illustrator.